Is this you trying to wrong warp? Well, fret not. By the end of this video, you'll be more like this. So, how do we get started with all of this? Well, first we're going to want to make a character, kill the asylum demon, acquire some humanity, get the Black Knight halberd, get a few souls, make our way into Sen's fortress, acquire the Lord vessel through any means necessary, buy force, homeward, and 2 talismans,
Come again.
and finally place the Lord vessel and attune the spells we bought. Alright, strictly speaking, not all of those steps are necessary, so let's break down what is. You'll need 12 faith, 12 attunement, 2 talismans, the Lord vessel placed, and a male character. Yes, a male character is necessary for reasons I'll get into later, so sorry ladies, but this wrong warp isn't for you. There is another wrong warp, however, that works for all characters, and I'll get into that one a bit later too. Alright, so the first part of this trick, and the part most people probably struggle with, is the spell swap. So what is spell swapping? Well, basically it's casting one spell, but getting the effects of a different spell. So you'll get the animation of the first spell, but the effects of the second. So in this case, we're using Force and Homeward. And how you actually perform this is you cast the first spell on your left talisman, and then exactly 1 frame later, you need to cast the second spell on your right talisman. Now, this sounds very tricky, and it can be very tricky to understand at first, because exactly how long is a frame? Well, it's 1/60th of a second, and that's not particularly helpful information when you're trying to calculate it in your brain. So what I do is I pretty much press the left bumper and up on the D-pad at the same time, and then with my right bumper I have my finger just off of the right bumper, and I pretty much try to press all 3 buttons at the same time, and just the little bit of delay you get from having your finger not directly on the right bumper is enough to get that frame delay in there and cast the second spell. So let's try this. So, didn't get it that time, or that time, or that time. There we go. That time I did get it. So, pretty much you're going to want to practice this and get it down before trying to perform the actual wrong warp. And once you can do it reasonably consistent, then you're good. Now, to give you a better idea of what I mean by performing the inputs, I recorded a video actually doing it with my controller, and I don't have the best setup for recording it, but I hope it gives you the idea of what you need to do for this. Here's the footage of me performing the trick on my controller. And as you can see, basically all I'm doing is pressing all 3 buttons at the same time, but having my right finger a bit off of the right bumper so that there's a little bit more delay to when it gets pressed. And you can see that I'm reasonably consistent at getting the trick to work. Once you've got the spell swapping part of the glitch down, that's the hard part over, and we can move on to performing the actual wrong warp. So what you're going to want to do is rest at the Lord Vessel, and then from there warp over to the Undead Parish. Now, just performing the spell swap won't allow you to rest at a bonfire, which is a necessary part of the Wrong Warp. So we need to interrupt the casting animation by falling off a ledge, and there just happens to be this railing right here, which is perfect for this purpose. So to get up onto the railing, what you're going to want to do is sprint up these stairs, and then you can see that there's some like bricks showing right here, so right at the edge of these bricks you're going to want to jump towards this railing, either right at the corner or at the railing itself, and then have nothing in your right hand and do a plunging attack. And if done right, you'll land on the railing. Now you're going to want to make sure that you're a decent way down this railing, but not all the way down close to the bottom, because then you'll slide off. Then angle your camera towards the bonfire, press forward until you see your character dip, like mine did there, and then from there, you perform the spell swap. If done right, as the camera's fading out, you can press A to rest at the bonfire, and you'll warp to the kiln. So why isn't this possible on a female character? Well, technically it is, it's just extremely inconsistent. Basically, there are differences between male and female character animations in Dark Souls 1, and it just happens that because of those differences, spell swapping in this way is extremely difficult to perform on a female character. I wrote a macro to take any human elements out of testing, and tested the spell swap 21 times on both the male and female characters, and while it succeeded 9 times on the male character, it succeeded 0 times on the female character. So that's why I listed a male character as a requirement, because it's near impossible to do on a female character. But as I mentioned earlier, there is another Wrong Warp that works on all characters, it just takes significantly longer to get to. For this version of the Wrong Warp, you're going to need to kill the Hydra, free Dusk, summon and speak to Dusk,
if thou art in me,
get the broken pendant, head into the DLC and kill the Sanctuary Guardian, kill or skip Artorias, and finally, grab the purple Coward's Crystal. With all of that setup complete, you're going to want to head to the Firelink altar, rest at it, and from there, warp to Ulasil Township. Now, we need to equip some items in a specific order. First, you're going to want to have the purple Coward's Crystal equipped. Next, you're going to want to have your Estus Flask equipped. And finally, you're going to want to have a teleporting item equipped. This can either be Homeward Bones or the Dark Sign. Either works. With that, you're going to want to come over to this staircase right here. Position yourself so that your left foot is off of the ledge. And now we need to do a series of inputs that are going to trick the game into using the purple Coward's Crystal even when we shouldn't be able to. So you're going to want to put your weapon away, and you'll see that when you try to use the purple Coward's Crystal, your character does this animation like, I can't use that, what are you doing? So when you start that animation, you're going to want to press forward on your left stick to move your character forward, and then immediately after you're going to want to pull out your weapon and switch the purple Coward's Crystal to the Estus Flask. And when you start doing that, your character should start falling before they pull out their weapon, and you're just going to want to mash the use button, and if done right, it'll glitch out the game and use the purple coward's crystal even though it shouldn't be able to. If you see your character pull out their weapon when you land, then the glitch hasn't worked and you'll need to try again. Now, when you do get the glitch to work, you're going to want to go to your teleport item and start mashing the use and accept buttons, and just keep mashing them until it actually gets used. And basically what this will cause is the game to try to teleport you two places at once, and you're going to end up wrong warping past the door in the kiln. So let's try this here. So it might take a couple tries. It is frame perfect. There we go. And there we go. We wrong warped to the kiln on a female character. And with that, you can now warp to the kiln on any character of your choosing and kick Gwyn's ancient ass. I hope this video helped if you were having trouble with wrong warping, and I will see you guys in another video.